Hello, Clayton here. Um, Going to do a bit of a segment on masculinity and femininity for anyone that's interested. I'll give you my take on the experience I've had with both the energies. Whenever you look at a woman, if you're a man, it seems as though, at least for me, you can almost see the entirety of the universe inside her. And there's so much free flowing, momentary expression in a woman. It's almost as if she's thinking of 1,000 things all at once. And from a man's perspective, it's hard to even fathom what that feels like. Because from the pointed, focused direction of masculinity, when you look at a woman that's trying to feel two or three or four different emotions at once, from a man, we feel them one at a time. We're happy, we're sad, we're horny, we're angry, we're all these things one at a time, and we pick and choose and we really focus and dive into what they are. But for a woman, from what I can see, they almost experience the entire thing simultaneously. Not as if they can multitask and sort of feel two or three or four different things at once, but that they feel the entire thing all at once, all at the same time. And it changes all the time. Their mood is going to change. How they act, how they react is going to change. Just basically in how you ask a question to them and the way you move. And they're going to compare it to something that had happened in their past, or something that the way that their shoes didn't match, or the way the sun didn't come up, or the way a bee flew near them. And they're constantly going in different directions. You can have a conversation with a woman and she'll just be speaking to something else, almost like the environment itself is trying to talk to her, is trying to tell her different things all at the same time. And from a man's perspective, might get a little upset about that because you're busy trying to be focused. You're busy trying to get a point across. You're communicating for a reason. There's an end result to what you're doing and why you're doing it. As a man, and in masculine energy, you always have a beginning and a middle and an end. And that's what feels good, at least to me and to most men that I meet, is to have a start and to have a middle and to have a completion. Whereby when I talk to women and I speak with them, it's almost as if there is never a start and there is never a completion. It's just an endless flow of moving emotions that are going on in the moment all of the time. And it's almost a disservice to the true feminine energy that you can find in women and within yourself when you look for it as part of your own masculine center, because we all have masculine and feminine in us, is when you find that piece of you that just wants to go with what's happening right now in the moment. That's your true feminine energy coming through. And in women in particular, they just live it, breathe it, have it. It's just what they are. It's who they are. And it's the reason that us as men desire them so much. It's because they're that one part of never stable, always changing pieces of the world that we just hunger to have and hunger to be around, because we're always looking for completion. We're always looking to bring things to a center point and have conclusion. That's why most men and most masculine energy like to have plans. They like to see through the past and they like to project it into the future. And all of this action between past and future in masculine energy is robbing the present moment awareness that is going on right now. And that's where feminine energy is. And that's where most women live their life. In the now, in the moment, constantly trying to just go with what's happening right now. And they change on a dime. It's all the time. And it's very confusing and very frustrating for a man to try and speak with a woman, because you're trying to get a point across. You're trying to communicate something. Whereby if you ever listen to women talk with each other, there's no point to the conversations. There's nothing that's resolved from it. They just communicate and talk for the sake of communicating. That's feminine energy. That's just being now, being there, and making this moment happen right now. Whereas masculine energy is always constantly looking for a point, looking for a direction, looking for a focus. And so for women, when you're trying to deal with a man, You have to understand that he is not just another woman that's there and not caring about you and not wanting to communicate with you. He's just trying to get a point across. He's just trying to have a solution. He's just trying to have resolution. He's just trying to bring all of the constructs of the world together into a oneness to find a point of direction. Whereas as a woman, you're probably just trying to communicate. You're trying to just have that free-flowing momentary awareness. And so as a man listening to a woman or having conversation and communication with a woman, it's very important to recognize that this is what she's trying to do. And it's also important on the other side that for a woman communicating with a man, he's always trying to find a point. And for a man communicating with a woman, you have to remember that lots of times there is no point. It's just the experience of doing it right now, which is what they crave and what they desire, because they're going to change into something else. And so having that dynamic, that pointed, directed focus, that forward momentum that masculine energy gives you, unless it's coupled with some free-flowing momentary stuff that happens in the feminine all the time. I mean, this includes dance and music and art and all sorts of other things. And when you find a real masculine man that is not in touch with any feminine energy whatsoever, he's just almost completely dissolved away from the momentary presence in life. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to engage in it. He's completely and totally impotent to what goes on in the world and that around him, as opposed to a man that's overly engaged in his feminine, at which point he would be addicted, an addict to all of the feminine energy and all the things that are flowing around all the time. So it's important to keep centered in that center point, which is just to stay present and focused and witnessing that feminine energy all around you as a man. That archetypal energy, the archetypal energy of the lover, is really what I'm talking about. I'm going to go through a few of these things for anyone that's interested in listening. And any book that you would like to read that would be a really fantastic read for any man is King, Warrior, Lover, Magician. Fantastic book. And it goes through all the Jungian archetypes of masculine identity and masculine energy. And when dealing with femininity, the archetype of the lover is the one that you have to be the most focused on, because it's going to give you a lot more insight. So, men and women, masculine, feminine, have a great day.